Good day, everyone. My name is Mark Jeffrey B. Soquillo. I'll be discussing the introduction for administrative theories. First of all, we need to check our objectives. First, to be equipped with adequate conceptual tools to approach the discipline for the first time. Second objective, to provide explanation of the chaotic world of the theory building in public administration. Third is to illustrate the major theories of public administration, and lastly, to assess the state of theory building in public administration. Let's start it with a question. What is administrative theories? Administrative theory is a highly contested terrain of public administration. So there are many debates that are going on using different types of theories to explain why does this happen, to explain some person's behavior. But the goal of theory building is to make sense of the world. Why is public administration still in a pre-paradigmatic stage? Actually, there are 6 reasons. First is it is a confused state of public administration as an individual discipline. 100 years down the line, it is continually improving, but uh, but now currently facing some challenges and consideration with other tangibles or other disciplines, such as the new right challenges, all pervasive garb of globalization, challenges of management, the feminist epistemology, governance of discourse, social-cultural diversity, postmodernity, and so on. The second one, it is also associated with the discipline itself. It focuses on cross-disciplinary interaction, making it difficult to balance. Third is mushrooming of theories in public administration. Again, more theories, more things to consider. The fourth one, though public administration serve interests of all members of the society, it does not address what should compose the interest and the end, and it shies away from the brute realities of public administration. Fifth one, they tend to pull back from the deeper philosophical, moral, and political issues involving theorizing about public activities and public institutions. And lastly, the critics argue that the administrative theories are not product of exigency, but more often than not, there are tools of legitimation which contribute to the confusion. So that is it for the introduction of the administrative theories. So down the line of this discussion, we'll be discussing the contribution of the individual thinkers and their own theories. Under the administrative theories, I'll be discussing the classical organization theory. What is the classical organization theory? The theory assumes that administration is a universal structural construct which has universal applicability regardless of the situation and context and is susceptible to the same kind of problems. So, as this theory goes, it is very applicable. It is applicable to all organization or groups, and through this theory, it is only susceptible to same kind of problem. So the solution will be also the same, and also the guidelines that will be used will still be the same. The classical theory of organization has the following basic premises. So number one, efficiency and economy are the universal goals of all organization, which is true. So next one, to achieve efficiency and economy, there is a need to design and redesign organizational structure in such a manner that the various structural parts of an organization function with coordination and harmony. So that is also correct. So the group cannot function well if it is not well oiled, or it is the parts is not it's not compatible with other parts. Next, with a view to developing greater rational structure, an organization should follow certain principles of formal design and redesigning various organizational parts so that the goals of maximizing efficiency and economy are achieved with least effort and resources. So this premise is also you can also see it uh, on our own organization. So there are right people for the right job. So if you have already established a working force that is good for your goal, it will be very, very efficient. The major principles of the classical organization theories. As I have said earlier, this school of thought assumes administration as universal structural construct, which is amenable to certain common principles of organization. So, as I have stated earlier, this theory assumes that it could be it is applicable to almost every organization, and once it is applied, its premise, its principles has been adopted by the organization, it will run smoothly. So number two, the proponents of this approach have shown their keen interest in discovering the true basis on which division of work in an organization should be carried out. So once you are running an organization, you need to know the right man for the job. You need to divide the labor. Once you have already achieved that, you have given the right job or the task for the work, or a group, the organization shall reach its goal more efficiently and more timely. Number three, for the major principles of the classical organization theories. So the proponent of this approach, however, are not totally in oblivion of the danger of the excessive decentering of organizational tasks. Hence, they put a lot of emphasis on proper coordination in an organization. So, um, the example, one good example for this one is when you're performing a group dance. So you have been given the proper steps and the proper way to do it. Once you do not follow the step and you did it wrong, you could bump with each other, or the output of the dance would be a disaster. Number four, this school of thought equally favors an element of restraint in the use of authority in administrative matter. So, since you have been given a certain task and you have already been given the proper coordination, or you have been given proper instruction, so you could function well, it is very easy to it is very easy to determine if you have done any offenses administratively. The major principles of the classical organization theories. Number five, the advocates of these schools are strongly in favor of the unity of command and direction. So, in our own organization, there is a chain of command, so they strongly favor that. So once there is a problem, you cannot go straight to the top or to the boss. You could Always talk with your immediate supervisor to address the problem and solve it simpler. Number six, this school of thought also favors centralization of authority, meaning if there is a centralization of authority, there are only certain groups or certain person that is in charge. So you're only supposed to follow instructions, guidelines from a certain group of people. And lastly, number seven, for the major principles of the classical organization theories, another important feature of this school of thought is the managerial perspective. Most scholars belonging to this traditional approach administration from a typical managerial perspective and thereby prescribe a host of techniques of principles to make organizations successful. So more of this organization technique and principle are very applicable on managerial level. So through that, the goal of the organization would be accomplished properly and timely. The major proponents of this theory are Henry Fayol, Luther Gulick, Lyndall Urwick, J.D. Mooney, A.C. Rayleigh, Mary Parker Foley, R. Shelton, among others. In the following sections, we shall discuss each of these theories in detail. Henry Fayol. Fayol had a simple interpretation regarding this organizational theory, or the classic organizational theory. Fayol had interpreted administration from a point of view of a manager and spelled out five key elements of administration, namely planning. So you need to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Organizing. So if you have already laid down and organized all the guidelines or the proper tasking, it is very rewarding for the achievement of your goal. Next, command. So once you have already planned, you need to put it into work. So you need to do command. Coordination. So once you have a good plan and you have already organized it with a good conductor, which is giving the command, the workflow would be very coordinated. And then lastly, control. So what is control? You need to check if there is something wrong, you need to evaluate, and then the rest will be history. Henry Fayol. Again, Fayol had further developed from 5 principles into 14 principles of administration. So, namely, first is division of labor, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of public administration in a globalizing world command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to the general interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain of hierarchy, equity, stability of tenure of personnel, order, initiative, and esprit de corps to make it more comprehensive. Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. So, the theory of departmentalization. So, this theory addresses the problem of assignment of duties in an organization. It is generally viewed that the departments are often locked horns on the issues of assignment of duties. So, this theory is commonly used within the government. So, on our end, within our local government unit, we have different departments with their own individual goals and tasks. So once you have given um, peoples that are expert um, on such needs of the city, it would be used for the betterment of the local government units. Mary Parker Foley. Throughout her career, she was much preoccupied with the problem of conflict and integration, and came out with an innovative idea of constructive conflict. She has recognized conflict as a normal and unavoidable consequence of social interaction in every organization. So, um, Mary Parker Foley has a theory that it is very normal to have a conflict, which is very true because it's part of human nature. You cannot agree with not everything, not every person can agree in everything. So there's a saying that iron sharpen iron. So once there is conflict, there is a resolution. So that resolution would be used for the betterment to achieve your goal in an effective, efficient, and timely way. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.